I would say one of the key elements to being involved in advertising and marketing communications would be try to get involved in some activity early on, possibly at school. A lot of colleges have advertising clubs and programs and so forth, so you start getting a little bit of a feel for it, but internships are probably the very best opportunity.
For someone interested in medicine, I would definitely say it's very important to care about patients and to care about people in general. Medicine is intentionally and intensely focused on patients, and it's very important to care about people. I often remind students that it's very important that no matter what the question is, the answer is the patient.
Get into it if you really like people, because if you don't, you can't make it long.
I would tell them not to be afraid to embrace changes or obstacles or difficult situations, because oftentimes the choices that we're afraid of are the ones that help us grow and be better.
The most memorable phone call, which actually was started by an email communication, was from the White House, and they asked if I would participate in a committee discussion on education, the Department of Education, having to do with what youth are involved with today. It's because as an agency, I had actually written a couple books on marketing to youth, and taking that expertise on kind of how kids are thinking about everything from purchase decisions to what they're buying and why they like communications and commercials and video games and so forth. I brought that to the party in a week-long conversation up there, which was really exciting.
Well, emails I've been getting actually this year, which I like. I've always wanted to, help community, and I've recently been selected on 3 different boards in the last 2 months, basically. So all those emails I'm getting, actually, it just put a smile on my face.
So I think that the thing that's most memorable for me are some voicemails that remain from my mom. My father still has them. They were the ultimate couple in love, and they grew up together. My grandparents were in each other's wedding. And so he still has her, number one, her voice on. She died quite some time ago, but he still has her voice on voicemail. And he still saved her voicemails, and we listen to them periodically.
Most memorable phone call was a designer here in Cincinnati that I had called on many times, attempting to get their business, was unsuccessful, and then suddenly I received a call. After many years, I received a call from that company asking me to get in the middle of a project that wasn't going well with their current vendor, and out of that came a great relationship.
I think given the vast opportunities that we have in this region and even nationally, there is still such a wide gap between class, wealth, education, health, and these gaps are really crippling our opportunities to grow and progress as a region and even nationally. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
I wouldn't say surprising, so I'm not exactly answering your question, but I would say in line with what I hoped would be. So I just joined U.S. Bank in November of last year. And when you go to business school, you're always taught the first thing is to take care of your shareholders. U.S. Bank has a very interesting way of going about it, where they talk about taking care of your employees first. And if you take care of your employees are going to take care of your customers, and that's going to be a great outcome for your shareholders.
Probably the most surprising is the success that the agency has had. It started in January of 2010 with just 2 people, Matt Fisher, my business partner, and myself. Today we have over 65 staff members and a great set of clients, and we've been just very fortunate. So I think if you would have asked us in January of 2010 if we would have envisioned the success and growth, that would have been a big leap for us at that point. So that's been the most surprising and enjoyable.
Meeting people that actually recognize the company's name or can relate it to a job that they know that we have done in the past. You don't realize that until someone makes a comment and you think you're a small company, but yet you do have a footprint.
I would say early 20s. With my first business experience, I made money and I made a lot of mistakes.
I'd go back to 9, and there's a song for me that embodies that very well. One of my favorite artists is Diane Reeves, and she's a jazz vocalist, and she has a song called 9. And the lyrics are running and jumping and skipping and laughing. And that's exactly what 9 is all about for me. It was about a time when you were running and jumping and playing. It was a time that was magical. It was a time that was carefree. So that's what I'd go back to.
I would go back to any age where my mother was alive. She was kind, graceful, bold, amazing, wild, courageous, funny, and all those things. And she unfortunately passed away 3 years ago. And I think, like many who have lost a loved one, I will spend the rest of my life missing her.
So being in the financial business, if I go back 20, 30 years and I could invest in companies that I know that ultimately did really well, I'd love to do that. But honestly, it would probably be in my mid-20s, and that's the time period where I got married and I started my family. And those are tremendous times for us, you know, growing and developing and starting, you know, our family.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I watch one show every single night, and that's Jimmy Fallon. And I would compare my life to that because there are many things he does that I love. Number one, laughing, silliness, fun. He always writes thank you notes. I'm really big on gratitude and thank you notes. And he always does pros and cons. And then there are always these amazing dance segments.
The Brady Bunch, because I married a lovely woman 20 years ago who has 3 daughters and a son, and I likewise have 3 daughters and a son, so it has been quite a challenge.
One of my favorite sitcoms, and my wife's favorite sitcoms, has always been Seinfeld. So to this day, we still watch that. And I think we can relate almost every situation or scenario, whether it be at home, work, life, or anything else, to a Seinfeld clip. So that would be what I would compare it to.